What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another uniform review video. Alright, so we have 4 of the Black Order here available to purchase, and then we have the one down there with Ebony kind of looking pretty grumpy with his orange bar below him. You got the big old frown on his face. Yeah, he's not happy. He wants to be released with everyone else, but you have to wait 2 weeks. So we're just going to go in order here. So the first one up is going to be Supergiant. So that's what we're looking at right now in the first video. Supergiant, as you can see, this is her first uniform, and she is one of the not original characters, but she's one of the older characters in the game that just hasn't really been touched at all since she was released into the game. Well, I shouldn't say at all. She had one minor rework. I can't remember when, but it was a while ago now. But she did have one minor rework, but she's definitely not usable right now in her current state. So this uniform hopefully is going to bring her up to maybe some top tier levels of gameplay and damage here, because that would be fantastic. I'm definitely looking forward to playing Supergiant. So let's see what the uniform is going to do for her. Of course, it's a top to bottom rework. We have 7 skill changes, so not really any point of saying what her previous kit was, since it's, you know, doesn't really have many buffs or anything at all. She has what buff on the 3rd skill, and then an all attack buff. I think that might have been all that she had. So let's see here. We have changes to the effects of her tier 2 passive, her 4-star passive, and every skill. And then the uniform itself is going to give her 25% ignore defense. So if you're having trouble capping that out, then here you go. You got 25% there. And then she has 25% ignore dodge as well, which is fantastic, because as we know, ignore dodge is becoming more and more valuable in pretty much all of the newer game modes that they're releasing. So yeah, that's really good to see. We have 50% chance to penetrate barrier, shield, all damage immune, and invincibility, which is good because she does have a skill that ignores iframes. So she could be pretty useful in PvP if that skill does some nice damage. And it looks pretty cool. It's similar to Hulk's 3rd skill that ignores iframe, right? Because Hulk, the one where he picks up the person and starts just like punching away at them, that's kind of what this skill reminds me of. But anyway, let's take a look at the changes here. Her tier 2 passive is now going to increase all resistances by 33%, which is Odin like the only other character that has that on a passive or a skill or something that increases resistances. I'm not sure, but anyway, she's got increased resistances, she's got increased guaranteed dodge by 33%, and decrease all damage received by 33%. So very nice passive there, definitely a huge upgrade. Her 4-star passive is when hit, she gets a 75% invisibility for ignore targeting, so she turns invisible for 2 seconds on a 5-second cooldown. That's not bad, and it's 75%, so they still have a 25% chance to hit you anyway, even when you're have this procced. So I guess a little bit more survivability there, but you do have to get hit for that to proc, so depends on how squishy she is, if she can actually take a few hits or not, how useful that'll be. And all of her skills are mind damage, so might be slapping a CTP of Judgment on her perhaps, or maybe a Rage. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see, because I do plan to get Supergiant here fully awakened, because she does have an awakening skill, and I want to be able to use her in World Boss Legend. So I figure I'm going to get her awakened, since, you know, we haven't been able to play Supergiant in such a long time. So I want to get her buffed up, and she'll be the first of the Black Order that I get the awakening skill for. I'm not sure who else I'll get the awakening skill for. I do plan to tier 3 Proxima, so I will be doing that as well. So both Supergiant and Proxima, at least I'll have them maxed out at some point to bring some more gameplay. But anyway, the first skill here, we've got a stun for 2 seconds. Mine does energy damage. Yep, we have a stun here. So she doesn't have much on these 2 skills, which is fine. Maybe it's all on the other skills. So here's the ignore targeting skill. It has mind control for 5 seconds. Fantastic. Decrease, or wait, not decrease. Damage received increases by 30% because that's applied to the enemy. We have increased damage by 75% for 1 attack. So kind of a built-in proc there, which is pretty cool. The 4th skill, we have paralysis that ignores immunity, and I don't think does this refresh. It might only be for that 1 second, or I can't remember. I have to look at the skill again, but I think every hit refreshes that paralysis, so it does last for more than 1 second. We've got all defense down. This stacks up to minus 50%, so nothing huge there, but you know, a lot of these characters where they're getting their awakening or their tier 3, you're pretty much going to be aiming to use them in World Boss Legend, and in World Boss Legend you can't apply all defense down, so I'm not as fussed about this as I was in the past. Before I was like, oh, minus 50% on new character they're releasing, oh, they're gonna suck for World Boss Ultimate, they need 65%. But now, since we have World Boss Legend, you know, it's a different story, since this isn't as important for that. Of course, if you're not at the World Boss Legend point and you're just looking for characters for World Boss Ultimate, this does, of course, increase the damage, but it's not going to help you out as much as you would think when pushing to the higher stages. And then we have increased skill damage by 50% and bonus damage by 50% as well. So kind of weird that they added this onto a skill instead of just a passive, but hey, you should be using that skill anyway. So now we have a heal here, which is really good to help out with survivability. We've got increase all attack and all defense by 40%. We have all speed by 35%. Holy cow, 35% all speed. Is that the highest all speed buff that any character has? Because that is ridiculous, 35%. So you're definitely not gonna have to worry about your attack speed, that's for sure. And then a crit rate boost by 40%. So again, you don't have to worry about crit rate either. She's got a lot of buffs here to help max out your stats. And if you notice, this skill is on a 13-second cooldown. So Supergiant is very, very friendly with her cooldown times. 13 seconds, 13 seconds, 13 seconds, 10, 7. So you definitely don't have to worry about a damage proc with her. It's just going to be based on if you can get these skills to cancel well enough that the proc doesn't go off early. That's going to be the only issue, but besides that, all of her skills are going to be available well before the proc is ready. So that's pretty nice. I do like it when characters have short skill cooldowns, because then you're not standing around as much. You can just keep using your skills, keep doing the skill rotation back to back. You don't have to, you know, kite the boss around a lot, except of course if you need to dodge an attack or two, but you're going to be doing that anyway. So first skill. Okay, she does go into an iframe for that, so she is pretty safe, except for, you know, the end there, because I'm like holding the joystick, so you have like a second to 2 seconds there at the very end of the skill where you can't move even though you're out of the iframe. So that could be a little annoying, but you could just cancel it into maybe the second skill here. We've got some iframe going on. Calls in Proxima, and then Proxima throws the spear around. So very, very cool. I like Supergiant's skills because she calls in a lot of the other Black Order, and it just looks really cool for her kit. And here's the third skill that ignores the iframes. So it goes into she gets an iframe for like a brief second there, which is kind of good, because then maybe it'll help protect her a little bit from getting guard broken or something like that. And then she just grabs the enemy and kind of holds them up and just keeps hitting them with some of their energy attacks right there, which is really, really cool looking skill. So this could probably one-shot a lot of characters in PvP, or at least that's what I'm thinking based off the animation and the amount of hits, the duration of the skill. It looks like it should be able to pump out enough damage. And it does pierce most things. What did it not pierce? It just didn't pierce like super armor, so it won't pierce super armor. So maybe you might have a hard time guard breaking them with this skill, perhaps. But it pierces invincibility, pierce damage immunity. So yeah, I mean, it looks like a really nice skill. So here's the fourth skill. Fourth skill, she brings out Black Bolt, and then he just kind of does his scream right there and does some damage to the enemy, which is really nice. That applies the all defense down there. There's a little bit of a wind up to the skill, which is nice, because then you can skill cancel a few other skills to get into that one for the damage, because that's where you're going to want to proc, is going to be on the fifth skill, or not the fifth skill, I mean, excuse me, the fourth skill. Here's the fifth skill. She kind of just makes like damaging circle, similar to Ghost is what that reminds me of. You can't cancel that immediately, so this is where you could get into trouble with a damage proc, because you want to wait for her to kind of charge up a little bit there, and then you want to cancel. So you can do 5, wait for that, go 2, and then instant cancel 2, and then go right into 4 for the proc. And as you can see, you still got all those spears from Proxima, so even instant canceling 2, you can still get Proxima to summon. So I think that's probably going to be a good rotation for her. I'm just not sure, like I said, how easy it'll be with the damage proc, because there are what, like 2 or there's probably like 3 or 4 hits before you can really cancel quick enough to get into the fourth skill. So we go boom. So if your proc goes off like instantly, that could be a problem, but you know, a lot of times the proc doesn't like to go off, so maybe that could be a good thing for a Supergiant here. Anyway, the Awakening skill. Let's see what that is. I actually haven't even seen the Awakening skill, so I haven't looked at that one. So let's see what it looks like. Goes into an iframe. She teleports away. We got Corvus and Obsidian coming in. Ooh, we got all the... Those look like the Mephisto hands that have just been kind of reskinned. Hey, we got Thanos up there. That's been reskinned probably for Ebony. I think that would be Ebony doing that attack, not Supergiant. Or it could be Supergiant, because Ebony actually doesn't get an Awakening, does he? Yeah, so that's actually probably just Supergiant doing that attack. It's a really cool looking skill. It's pretty long animation. So right where does it start doing the hits? Okay, there it starts doing hits. A very long windup to actually start doing some damage. So that's kind of interesting. So you're not really going to want to cancel skills into this, are you? Say to do something like 5 and then go into the... Oh, well, she teleports back anyways, so then 5 wouldn't really be hitting the enemy. Not sure you can really combine much with the... what's it called? With the Awakening skill. Does the buff from the 3rd skill pass over? Yes it does. As you can see here, we have the increase, but look, it's going to be over before we start to... Okay, it'll be active for like the first, like, what was that, 30 hits, but that was a group of enemies there, so the first couple hits or the first second of doing damage, you can pass over the 3rd skill buff. And speaking of 3rd skill buff, that is something you can't really get that 3rd skill in, can you? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, the 3rd skill won't pass over that much, so you can't skip over, so I'd have to do something like... Boom, boom, boom. There we go. That would only work if you had like probably a Rage or a Judgment, because there's a lot of time for a proc to go off there. If you do 5, instant cancel 2, instant cancel 3 into 4. Oh, I instant canceled 3 too early. I didn't even see the damage buff come up. So boom, boom. There, okay. So you have to do a very, very slight delay cancel on 3. You can't instant cancel. You gotta wait like half a second or a quarter of a second. So anyway, yeah, Supergiant is looking pretty good. I'm definitely going to be picking up this uniform. Of course, I only have Supergiant at level 60 right now. I haven't realized her potential or anything like that. So I don't think I'm really going to do any gameplay right now because it won't really show off much. I mean, I guess it could. Let's see. What do I have on Supergiant? Do I even have a damage proc on her? Let's see. No, I do. I have a guard break immunity, mind damage, 1/6. That's actually not bad. You know what? Yeah, let's go into World Boss Ultimate real quick and just see how easy it is to proc with her. So yeah, let's load that up real quick. Alright, so here we are over at Obsidian. She does energy damage. Well, of course, energy or mind damage as based off her energy stats. So she'll work here for Obsidian. Figure I might as well just take her in against Cole because that maybe show off her survivability a little bit more, which I don't know if she's going to have good survivability or not, but Cole is going to be a lot more annoying to fight than Ebony, and with mind damage she should do great against Ebony, so I'm not too worried about that. So I kind of want to see what she does against Obsidian here. We just have She-Hulk as a lead. I guess I was trying some other team right here, so all I did is just swap out who I was testing with Supergiants, so we're just going to keep the same team here, but that's definitely going to be the optimal team. We do not want any ignore defense strikers. Yes, there we go, that'll work. Yeah, so let's see what you can do against Cole here, and hopefully see if we can get that damage proc to stay in line. I'm not going to try to add the 3rd skill in right away. I'll see if I can do a consistent proc with just 5 to 4, see if that happens, and then maybe start trying to add in 3 if it looks promising. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Again, she is only level 60, so keep that in mind. Okay, that's not bad. We procced pretty well there. Oh, don't get time frozen. Okay, we missed the proc there. So maybe there's a little bit more. Oh, we got guard broken there, so that's not good. Let's run around a little bit. Her damage is actually looking pretty good for a level 60 here on stage 50. I usually just test out characters on floor 50. I didn't look at the buffs there. Was I able to get the 3rd skill buff to transfer over? I did not notice. I think I did it because that looked like more damage, but maybe I'm just... Okay, we definitely did not get the damage proc there. Oh, there was our invisibility. Nice. Okay, yeah, the proc is pretty consistent. I think she'll work just fine with the regular damage proc. Maybe even a CTP of energy. How many? Whoops, that went off really early. So sometimes that happens, but a lot of times it doesn't. It seems like she's doing enough hits that a CTP of energy could be pretty nice on her. Okay, now it's going off a little too early. I was getting a good streak there, now I'm getting a bad streak. What if I just do this right away? Missed the second skill. Okay. Got a little close there. Okay. Okay, that jump back is starting to... Alright, so you have to use her skills really close to the boss. Alright, so you need to be like right up on him. Now it's proccing too early, huh? So yeah, I had a good streak and now I'm having a really bad streak with the proc. Yeah, and you have to be really close to him or else the 5th skill, just that tiny bit of jump back, actually gets you too far away to cancel into the 4th skill. Got snared there, but... Oh, but Black Bolt still stayed out. Okay, I wonder if they're cancel into another skill. That'd probably work only if we have, like, Judgment or Rage on her, though, right? So what if we do this, and then get Black Bolt out and go into, like, 1 or something like that? That might actually be a good play if you have Rage or Judgment on her. Yeah, that didn't look like more damage, but that's probably because the first skill was a shorter animation, so we lost out on the time with the damage proc, so it's probably better to just let the 4th skill play out. But anyway, I mean, the damage looks pretty good here at level 60, so I'm curious to see what she's going to do when she's at level 70 and then also awakened. So yeah, let me know your thoughts below about Supergiant, but so far I'm actually pretty happy with how this uniform is looking. I'm gonna have to test her a little bit more, like I said, once I get her to level 70, but as of right now, my initial impressions are good. I'm pretty happy with how this uniform is looking. I like how it plays, because I definitely love it when characters are damage proc friendly, so I don't feel like I have to use a rage or something to kind of compensate for like the kind of just skill mashing kind of play style where you just kind of want to get every skill that you can and just use it as soon as it's available type thing. So yeah, anyway, that's gonna be it for this video here. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.